Hello everyone and welcome to JUNKERTOWN, or more accurately, the dark void underneath JUNKERTOWN. So, there's a lot going on here. Well, there's a lot going on here in terms of a map. There's a surprisingly low amount of stuff going on here in terms of lore, but that's to be expected. JUNKERTOWN is very much isolated in the middle of a post-Omnic War apocalyptic wasteland. The rest of the world just doesn't really give a crap about it, so there's not going to be much influence from things not strictly related to JUNKERTOWN, which is totally fine. It's nice to have a little encapsulated experience all about Roadhog and Junkrat, and I think I've actually managed to get myself trapped outside of the actual map, even as the camera. Can I get back in, please? Am I allowed? Oh my god, I've bugged this up. Oh no, can I phase into this rock? Oh, I can? Can I get around here? No? What about if I go like, oh no, this is not good. I've completely ruined this. While we're down here though, there's a very nice detail of the scrap heap going on, which we did test if gravity was working. And yep, definitely working. Now that I'm free from out of bounds hell, there's a few points of interest on which we should dwell. We're going to discuss and see why they're swell, and once we are done, well then I'll ring a bell. So, this huge building here, and this little building by extension, are effectively Roadhogs and Junkrats. I mean, house, base, workshop, shindig. And we know this for a few major reasons. I mean, firstly, this is where the plan is.
Inconspicuous trolley, front door revealed from the nose!
And it's also the fact that, well, it's just screaming Junkrat. We've got his cricket bat from his new skin, we've got his trap, we've got his balls, we've got a workstation, and really, they're not living in the, most lavish conditions, whereas for some reason Roadhog lives in the huge workshop-y building, and this is his bed. Of course, it's full of chains. I mean, it just has to be. He's got a nice little fan there. And we also have this, and this is obviously from the highlight intro where Roadhog has just been a glutton. And the cool thing is there is a shop that sells food that comes in these containers, so it's a really nice way to tie it all together. And look, it's got a breather underneath it, bowls of food. They obviously don't take too much pride in their workspace. I mean, the fact that they apparently have a bike that they go around is fantastic. Roadhog just, well, wedged in this chair. Yeah, I'm inside your body, and there's definitely some room.
Oh, bye.
Okay, sometimes engage brain before mouth, I think, is the lesson of the day. And then probably my favorite thing is this machine here. This very evidently is what's inside each of Roadhog's breathers. And it is quite clearly a liquid, and it's just a can that gets filled up. He pops open the red cap, puts it to his mouth, squeezes it, crushing the metal, and drinks it. That's the key. He must be drinking this, right? There doesn't look like any mechanism that converts this liquid into gas while it is in here, which means he's not really taking a breather. Like, unless I'm missing something, this is very much indicative to him taking a quick drink and trying to heal. But this also means they have what is presumably a very advanced healing fluid. And my question is the entirety of JUNKERTOWN using this? Because you do see the breather looking things everywhere. Or is this specifically a Roadhog and Junkrat invention, which is kind of curious, because it means they do have definitely a tinker's mindset, which we do know from their gadgets. They built their own weaponry, but healing juice is very much a little bit more advanced than that. So I think this raises as well as answers quite a few questions. We also have a fantastic secret room. Oh, is it a button? Oh! That's so awesome! Inside which is, well, a little bit of treasure that they kept back for themselves. You know, you can't put everything in one basket. You've got to have backups just in case. And talking of the treasure itself, because there's not really much more to discuss here, it's just very awesome to me as a big fan of both characters to see really what they do. You get a huge image of their day-to-day lives here, what they spend their time talking about, building, planning. I suppose the easiest way to try and put across what I'm getting at here is it's not really a tangible thing I can put my finger on and go, that's the one right there. That's why I like this. Because this building, this area that clearly Roadhog and Junkrat have spent a lot of time in, it just kind of radiates this almost homeliness. You can imagine Roadhog over here enjoying his fish head, Junkrat maniacally working away at something upstairs, yelling over to him. He barely glances back, but Junkrat gets the message, and they're just having a wonderful psychopathic time in here, and it makes me happy, you know. It just... I like it. I love both of their characters, and it's really cool to get just almost a slice of their life, like a day in the life of Junkrat and Roadhog, without them even being here. It's really well designed from Blizzard. The cart itself, then, is obviously full of money. And there's something curious about this money. Yeah, look, loads of coins spray out of the payload as it takes damage. Ah, that's fantastic. Oh, they do actually physically fall on the ground, and they have Overwatch logo on them as a currency. See, I wonder if that's indicative of the world actually using currency with Overwatch symbol on, or if it's just a thematic thing because it's the game.
It's the game. I'm unsure, actually.
Yeah, I actually think that could go either way, definitely. So what do you guys think on that front? Are we looking at a global Overwatch-themed currency? Because that raises a lot of questions. The outside, then, just a collection of shacks, you know, huge engines. It's obviously very TF2-y, it's very Mad Maxy, you know the drill, you know the theme by now. What I think's curious is this is obviously JUNKERTOWN proper, everything within this wall, so perhaps Junkrat and Roadhog weren't exactly banished from the area, which... I mean, to me, this doesn't look post-war apocalyptic. It just looks like Australia, which I feel like might just now insult a load of Australians. But at the same, like, it's... I mean, I was expecting something much worse. I'm just going to rapidly move on now. But the TLDR of what happened here is the Omnium, which was the Omnic creating factory, was destroyed and, well, radiation. Most people didn't survive. Inhospitable. Few people remained and became the Junkers and formed JUNKERTOWN. I do wonder if there is a plan to properly reintegrate JUNKERTOWN into the rest of the world, or if, well, just as much as the rest of the world seems to have forgotten about JUNKERTOWN, JUNKERTOWN doesn't really care about the rest of the world. They're just being them. But yeah, to me it seems like Junkrat and Roadhog are fine and allowed to be outside the walls. They're just not allowed in the main city. So they clearly planned and built their, air quotes, revenge just on the outskirts in this shack, which is so Junkrat and Roadhog all over, isn't it? So we have the main gates, and the Queen does talk when you get through.
You know better than to show your face around here, Mako.
Which is very, very neat. So you got to ask the question, why do Junkrat and Roadhog care so much about losing access to this place? This place run by this queen, who now, I mean, do not admit you on sight, isn't the greatest fans of all of their misdeeds. There's a really cool just 5-rule system. Obviously the troublemakers will be exiled as what happened to them, and it does seem like an almost okay society. See, the thing is, they're clearly psychopaths toting ridiculously vicious weaponry, but then they have stuff like, watch your step, you need to be careful, we don't want accidents here. Watch your step on the ground as well. They're very safety conscious for a Mad Maxian society.
They're not savages.
Yeah, they're not. Sorry, they're not. Just straight savages, my bad. And that makes you wonder, doesn't it? And to me, I would say that Roadhog and Junkrat actually just loved being here. I think this turns out to actually be quite sad. Because think about it, those two are quite forceful personalities. They're big characters. They would probably be very well known here. Well hated, but also well liked. I imagine they would have done a lot of stuff probably higher up in this air quotes society, you know? I imagine the Queen would have had use for people of their talents. I bet they were big shots here, and I bet they liked this environment. I mean, obviously, look at them. They're perfectly suited to this just, well, might is right whole, like, ridiculous environment. They are, and they probably just want back in, or at least revenge for it being forever denied them. And when you look at it that way, it both makes sense. It's like, oh, Junkrat Roadhog, do you miss home? And that's kind of cool, especially for their characters. And I think one way that actually does enforce that, if we go to the scrap yard, which, by the way, the map itself, gloriously designed. There's so many rooms, twists, corridors. The map learning on this is going to be so hefty. There's so many different ways to go, and it's fantastic, leading to the Queen's throne and the microphone that she used, and a little bit of a, well, Zenyatta's dead. Sorry, everybody. I didn't want to reveal it this way. You got an example of spears that look like they can shoot flames, huge saw things with canisters of stuff attached. Like, the weaponry here is ridiculous. I mean, look at the one in the locker room. It's like a huge sort of scythe spike thing that has been absolutely wedge-hammered into the speaker. And I'm not sure if it's gonna, well, really, I don't know if that was the sound thing to do. Oh, got there in the end. But as I was saying, I actually think that Roadhog and Junkrat were very much top tier Thunderdome fighters in the scrapyard. I think they actually had a mech each, and that's these two. I think this one is Roadhogs. This one is Junkrat's, and I bet they competed and did well in the mech battles. And we know that there is a mech battle culture going on here, because outside there is loads of pictures and posters of just one second, you know, sometimes it's difficult getting it in. We know that there is, because there's loads of posters of various types of mechs. The Kelvin 500, the Champion, the Wrecking Ball, the Bludger, and they have tournaments and almost gladiatorial mech games, and the Wreck Yard is probably where they get loads of parts, and it seems fantastic, right? So obviously this opens up the possibility of another mech-based hero like D.Va coming out of here, which is fantastic. And the main thing you're probably wondering is, well, what about the Queen? Do we think there's going to be a picture somewhere of what the Queen looks like?
Find the Queen.
What?
Nice.
Like
She's
30
actually
seconds.
just straight up.
Oh, wow, okay. So yeah, she's just, well, straight there, and apart from potentially looking like a slightly interesting Zarya skin, she does have quite the character going for her. I mean, she instantly comes across with both the softness of the face contrasted with just the real viciousness of the attire as someone who has that charm, that wit to keep people controlled, to rise to leader status, to be followed and even probably well liked, but also that brutalness, that strength that grinds people to heel if they start to, you know, act up and start to question leadership, maybe, to exile the troublemakers. She really has this lovely personality going for her without even really seeing her move. Just the picture of her and the voice.
Listen up, you wretched scum. I see your struggles. Trying to survive in the wasteland. It's time to face the facts.
Very easy to see we have quite the character on our hands. Look. She has a frickin' giant scrap axe. We're all thinking it. I mean, it's gotta be a hero, right? I mean, it's very easy and common for people to jump to, oh, it's a new character, they have to be a hero. But look at this. Not only would Roadhog and Junkrat get another character in game that they can interact with, which I think would be very good, she just screams melee assault, which is just, oh, what I want. And I know Doomfist is close, but a pure melee hero that isn't Reinhardt's tankiness, I would love that so much. And it just so looks like she could be everything about her. There's so many gadgets and weapons in this scrap wonderland of pain and glory that would make an absolutely phenomenal character of epic proportions. I want to beat people down with a scrap axe. I want to be a Super Saiyan. Sorry, got a little bit carried away there, but you got to admit the idea of the Queen being a hero, it seems both likely and excellent. So there you have it, guys. That is effectively my initial thoughts of JUNKERTOWN. There's not really too many crazy things, as I said, relating to the rest of the world because of how isolated it is, but it's a very well designed map from both a what lore there is relating to the characters who are related and the map design itself. It's just fantastic. They delivered, and it really does look like, well, a Mad Max Wonderland, and that is really, really cool. So yeah, there you go, guys. What do you think so far of this place? Like if you've enjoyed it. God, Omnic Graveyard. It's really quite bad, isn't it? Is that one moving? Oh, man. Well, you gotta hand it to Blizzard for the detail. God, what's the opposite of being on fire? I guess I'm drowning today? Like if you enjoyed this, subscribe for more. My name's been Rage. I'll see you next time. Oh, good. Bye.